Welcome. My name is Rich. This is Kingdoms of Amalur, Reckoning. And currently I am in Issa. I have some missions to do. Bristletongue. Turn to Nomaron. So let's do those. In this Let's Play, right, yes, I do need to say that also. In this Let's Play, I will be paying attention to the stories that the game is trying to tell and taking things at a slow, relaxed sort of pace. Just wandering around, looking at things and talking about them. As things occur to me.
Dustling.
Am I allowed in here? Probably not. Oh, I am. Okay.
High King Tatarian is waiting for you. Please place the codex before him, and he will continue.
Cool. We're advancing some story. I feel like the light has changed significantly.
Conceived in chaos, birthed in stolen magic, torn from fate, child of two fathers, treacheries in treacheries, winter is broken. The puppet king upon his throne, drinking flattery and lies. The power that grows in him is not his own. In the east it did begin, as it will end. From behind the veil she screams. Madness and rage. Madness and rage.
We realize this may be confusing for you. Fate, like the Fae, cannot be changed. But the Tuatha are Fae who have become something new. And you are a mortal who is free from Fate's weave. Gadflow claims that the Tuatha are the work of his new god. If the Tuatha are the creations of a god, what does that make you?
Getting strong David Bowie vibes from that. Particularly David Bowie as the Goblin King in Labyrinth.
The time of the Fae is passing. Our land and our souls are diminishing. Few Fae even realize that the great cycle is shifted. Gadflow's war means the death of us all, Fae and mortal alike. It is written in the weave that we shall all pass from this world together. It is too late for us, but not for you. That is the fate which I look to you to change. The power of a god in the brash hands of a mortal. This is why Niralim fears what you might become. This age has seen much change. Change we once thought was impossible. We were wrong. You are intertwined with the power in the East. There can be no doubt of that. Your energy reaches back to Alabastra. We do not know what will happen when you travel there, but we know that the power behind Gadflow is your ultimate goal. His god holds your answer and the fate of this world.
I'm not really sure what I'm responding to here. Like, I'll do it isn't an answer to the sentence. His god holds your answer and the fate of the world. Like, these two responses don't... Well, this isn't my fight kind of follows on, but I'll do it doesn't really. But, okay.
I thank you. And perhaps you can help change our world's fate as well. I have seen those who were destined to be heroes, for whom great deeds came naturally. They come, they act, and they pass on as written. You do great things not because you must, but because you choose to. That is by far a far truer greatness.
I don't know why...
Admirable. But strength of will cannot see you through this alone. You may be unbound by fate, but you are not free from death. Speak with your allies. Only with their aid can you hope to overcome the forces that stand against you.
Nice. You are truly a blank slate, able to choose your own destiny, as witnessed and proclaimed by the High King Tatarian himself. And I get a load of gold as well. Nice. And a fate potion.
The weave is a puzzle. Each person is a piece. The edges of their fate locking together with the people around them, all performing their duties to form a grand picture. However, you are no longer a puzzle piece. You are a dollop of paint. You cover and redefine the edges of the puzzle pieces you meet. But more dangerously, you repaint the picture of reality itself. Who can trust that your design is better than the original?
Well, considering that the original was invented by a mad god, I think that any change is better than the original.
It is the deepest tragedy that our fall should come from our own. Make no mistake, Gadflow is the harbinger of the end of my kind. In fighting him and his army, you will surely spell our doom. For that tragic truth, we forgive you. We are the dreams of warmth and safety, given physical form. But these dreams are endangered by Gadflow and the long winter. Since our kind returned to this world so long ago, it has been my honor to serve as High King of the Summer Court. My rule was always shared with the High King of the Winter Court, until Gadflow arose. Now both of our people are in peril. The Summer and Winter Courts have always ruled the Feylands in harmony, as the seasons wash across the world. But with Gadflow's new god, something changed. The Winter Fae who followed him called themselves Tuatha, and bore a mark of Prismir upon them. Their power has grown, and yet they are diminished. Our cold cousins across the sea. Do not think the Winter Court our enemies, for we love them as family, dismal though they may be. Oh, to walk in their starlit gardens once again, or sip their calming stone tea. But the Tuatha have consumed them, and all of their wonders are lost.
Oh, when did he get in?
I couldn't make out half of what the king was saying, but it sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. Good thing you won't be facing it alone. In fact, I think I've got a lead on finding an old friend of ours.
What old friend?
Old Felmerus Hughes, of course.
Ah.
If anybody can help, it's bound to be the gnome who brought you back to life. I've been asking around, and I was able to make contact with his superior. He thinks he might be able to help find Hughes. All gnome scholars have a Templar who sponsors their research, and apparently Hughes' sponsor, Templar Octien, is desperate to find him. Go southwest to the Hollowlands and Detir. Octien will be waiting there to discuss how you might reach Hughes. Thanks for giving an old man another chance. It's good to know I've got a future again. And even better not to know what it is.
Wonder if I've already heard these.
The Crystal War, they've been calling it. 10 years ago, the Winter Fae turned violent and attacked us in force, calling themselves the Tuatha Deum. They say it's their sacred duty to cleanse the mortals from their lands. Naturally, the humans and Alpha who live here aren't so happy with that plan. It's been going back and forth for years. Where there's war, there's soldiers nervous about their fate, and that's where I come in. He once offered me an honorary knighthood after I slayed the Dream Eater of Amora. He was quite gracious when I turned him down. You know the Summer Court in Issa? Well, the Winter Court are their darker siblings. They're not evil, but they're definitely not nice. Beautiful city, isn't it? You can see why they don't like letting most mortals in. Even the best of us make it look like a mess by comparison. You're not the only one on the hunt for Hughes. Octien has followed his trail to the Hollowlands in Detir. You'll want to talk to him.
And Aelin as well. And somehow managed to sneak her way in.
Who would have thought you were so interesting? Death seems to have worked out very well for you. Agarth's looking for escape. Neuralim's looking for a savior. And Tatarian is looking for a champion. And somehow, you're giving everyone what they want. I'm impressed. You're right. This won't be easy. The Tuatha have our forces under siege at Mel Senshir, and their power has only grown over the years. You'll need more help than just me and that old Fate Weaver. You'll need an army. Gadflow awaits over mountainous walls, swampy forests, and roiling straits. Breaking the siege at Mel Senshir is the only way to reach him. But we are not alone in our fight. In the plains of Erethel, there is a player who has been away from this game for far too long. It is time to contact General Tilera. Meet me in the village of Emer. I will have more information for you there. We are the charmed, the subtle, and the inspired. In happier days, we were the loftiest of the mortal races. We despise open war. But for decades, the Tuatha have been at war with us, pushing into our lands and forcing us to take up arms.
Not sure what's going on with her hair here. Like, is there a crest of bone under there? Is it some kind of weird choice? Is her hair actually sort of felted together and she sleeps directly on her back with the hair pushing up?
General Tilera was in charge of our forces to the east in Cluracan. But a decade ago, Witch Knight Malwyn and his Tuatha army drove her forces back. Since then, she's been looking for some way to take back the land she lost and regain her honor. You might be just the help she needs. Be on your way.
What is it?
he wants me to bring him Bristletongue, doesn't he? So we can make a better drink. Although, now I don't know much about brewing alcohol. This is something I'll happily admit, but I don't think that you can create it that quickly. Like, the brewing process has to take place over a period of time.
So tired. We're friendly enough in Felltown, but we still like to keep our secrets. Everyone is listening.
The tavern is always open.
So I don't know how much this Bristletongue would actually help. I mean, it's not going to help immediately because the stuff will have to take a while to brew, like at least a few months. I would have thought.
You've got the seeds. Now we'll see if the Victor's Brew can stand up to a new challenger. I'll have a batch of Asker's draft ready before the week is out. Take this, friend. And like I promised, the merchants here will give you a discount. You've got a home here in the alley for as long as you like.
Thank you.
Come back again.
It's very nice of you. I've got a Fae to help out, haven't I? With a telling. I don't remember where exactly. I'll need to leave Issa so I can... Is it around here somewhere? Let's go to the House of Ballads. Oops. Oh, there's a treasure here. Oh God. Where the hell is the mission I've got, or the quest I've got to... Wait, let's... Waterhole down, I suppose. So I can come here. Oh, there's a mission here as well. Okay, quest. Need to get back into the habit of calling it quests, because they are quests. We're in a fantasy environment now. They're not missions. Well, I suppose they are missions, but the more correct term, I think, is quest. It is an invulnerable box. One of 3 of 5 of Treasures of Meropis. Nice. And there's something hidden around here. It'll probably be a pile of rocks or a hollow log or something. But I failed to find. Aha, hollow log. So let's fast travel to Gorehart. Oops. Somehow managed to get stuck under the sign.
I miss her so much. You made it. You're back. I was so worried that the Fae had taken out the revenge on you. As usual, I was wrong. The Fae has recovered, thanks to your potion. In fact, she wishes to stay in the village for the next several weeks as she recovers. Gorehart will be a new community, a place of compassion, and it's thanks to you. Please, take my sword and buckler. They will serve you well, as they have served me.
Why? Why is he giving me his sword and buckler? Does he not need them anymore? He's supposed to be like a peacekeeper of the village.
I believe they call it Shield Ring, a recruitment stop for those who wish to march westward to war. Follow the road. You'll see its towers over the trees in Yolven. Hope you stay in town.
Hello.
Oh. She was in the room.
Greetings, stranger. I understand that you are to thank for my longevity. I'm in your debt. Our people have too long stood apart. Perhaps together we can change that. My interest in humans brought me to the boundaries of your village, and that led to my unfortunate injuries. I plan to stay here, to learn. Gorehart is not simply a village. It is a seed. Within its hardened shell exists all of what makes humanity wonderful, and all that makes it terrible. They are the greatest of us, lords and ladies of the telling. But I was never bound for glory in their ranks. I know that now. Like all Fae, I will take what I've learned from their experience and light the darkest wood. My story is their story, for the telling belongs to all of us. I serve the House of Ballads as a squire, but I've not been home for almost a full season. They will be expecting me.
These are strange times.
Oh. A mission for me.
I'm sorry. Did you say something? I'm a bit lost in thought. Today could be the day, you know. Camden could be the next one to round that corner. He is my husband. Although we were together for only one night before he marched. His militia fights under the banner of General Finn. We had one night together. And then he departed for 3 long years. He will return. My heart tells me so. I can't give you much in return, but what I have is yours. The Alpha army is notoriously secretive with their information, and all my pleas for help have been ignored. You might find something in Dyden Hill. That is where Camden volunteered. Of course, that was years ago. Thank you for your kindness. I will be waiting here for news.
Ah. I thought I'd need it. Death notice.
No! I don't care what any paper says. Those are just words on a page. They mean nothing. You must find out the truth.
Okay.
On that very road, the one leading east to the Rathia coast, he was heading off to enlist at the station in Dyden Hill. That was years ago. How would I look to him now?
Probably fine if he's
Goodbye.
alive and faithful. Like, You never know, he could have used it as an opportunity to try and escape, because he didn't want to be tied down. Much like that chap in Lock of Rain. I've got a quest. Ballad of Bloody Bones. The legendary knight Sir Ferrara has pursued the villain Bloody Bones into his lair at Odoath, northeast of the oratory. As Sir Sagril is integral to this ballad, I must meet up with Sir Ferrara as soon as possible. So, I need to get to Odoath. Oops. Which one was Odoath? Oh, it's a hidden door. Hmm. Hololog, hololog, hololog. Hidden well cache. Still a few more things to do here, I guess. Can I let him know that Edward is dead?
I hope you've learned from my mistakes. The Red Legion are not to be trifled with. Leave this ugly business and you'll be better for it.
No, I can't tell him. Okay, I think I might have tried that before. Actually. I'll have that. Oh, there are going to be belligerent with me. Don't recommend it, chaps. Won't go well for you. 8 plus 51 from Detect Hidden. Where were the wolves keeping those objects? Oh, there was another one. A bear this time. Okay, let's come up here, then up here, I think. And then to the hollow log in the boundary. Ugh. this an ambush? Can't say that I think much of it. Where are they coming from? Hidden door. Sinks into the floor. Really? Hard dispel chest. That doesn't sound like very much fun. There's a whole log here. Oops.
The right must be fulfilled.
Hollow log. Wasn't Udwath over here somewhere? No. Super annoying that it's not on the large map. I mean, this is marked on the large map. I'm gonna have to look it up. Pretty sure I did that mission, that quest, last time I played. I don't remember at all. It's too long ago. Battle of Bloody Bones. Oh wait, northeast of the oratory. I know where the oratory is. It's down here. Okay, let's fast travel down here, I guess. Oh, there we are. Udwath. Somehow managed to miss it all this time. Okay. We have it at last. Oops. Have I been here before? No. Okay. And there's a jump down point up there. Okay. So we have to go this way around. At least these are at level for me.
Immortal? Is this Wenson's idea of humor? Well, you look hardy enough. Won't botch the tale of Bloody Bones too badly, I suppose. Still, I'm curious as to how Hallam expects you to bring me back from the edge of the Great Cycle. But that's his problem, not mine. They are Almain, settlers from the west, searching for a place to plant their flag. Poor creatures. I've never seen such terrible luck. Camped just outside Uduath, right in Bloody Bones' warpath. Better they had cut their own throats. A kinder fate.
I don't know, I mean, we're here to help them now.
I've always known my place has been among the heroes of the court. What other outcome could there be for one so deserving of adoration? You dustlings have a similar concept. I believe you call it death. But there is no elegance in your mortality, no poetry. Those of my kind perish, only to have their magic pass on into the Great Cycle, where it returns in kind, reborn into a world that welcomes such new beginnings. The Duke of the Cursed Fomorians, Slayer of Pombero and Protector of the Mabinogi. But you may call me brother. I have fought with the lords and ladies of the Court of Enchantments for 3 seasons. My skills with the blade and in the bed know no equal. A close companion he was, a true brother in your mortal understanding of the word. I trusted him, I had to, as he played such a vital role in my most memorable song. Is there any other way to view the warrior who saves your life time and again? Let me be truthful with you, Dustling. I've never seen Bloody Bones act so erratically. He cares nothing for the story, as if he craves a different outcome. Instead of spiriting away a young mortal maiden, he took an entire camp. Men, women, children. It's mad, and certainly not part of the tale. And I thought this ballad couldn't get any worse, considering my impending demise. Well, let's get this over with, shall we? Onward!
There we go. I was sure there was stuff to pick up. So... a cell containing prisoners.
Run! Bloody Bones is near!
Why were you still hanging about? You weirdo. Sprites. 1, 2, 3, 4 more cells to open.
Bloodies around here. Somewhere.
I'll get some mitts out of that, I think. I wonder why they didn't open this.
Bloodies around here. Somewhere.
Great sword. Don't really care about that. Fey blades of accuracy can be broken down into something nice, I expect. Oh, I mean they're blue, so I'll have to wait, but once I could, well, It depends on when I actually get the next level of that's not it. Rare. It's 2 points away. I might not be able to get anything. Well, I mean, once I unlock this, I'll be able to salvage blue gear, so rare gear. But by that point, because what else I'm trying to do is trying to spend my skill points evenly so that I get things up to here evenly. I don't know whether it'll actually be worth salvaging anything. I guess the Barghest was partially alerted by the sprite noticing me. I can only assume. Because usually strikes like that outright kill the target. Nice of Sagrel to try and help, isn't it? Or Ferrara, rather. I am Sagrel. So yes, it's nice of Sagrel to help. But it's nice of Ferrara to try and help as well. At least he's doing something. A lot of men and women, but no children. I realise that the game doesn't have models for children, so oops, didn't mean to do that. It's not a surprise that we haven't found any, because you can't find any anywhere. Well done, Ferrara. Run through the poison. Very clever of you. Things. Oops, there's a rock in the way. What do you do? Mana regen per sec. Nah. I'm good. Hopefully they can get out alright. There shouldn't be anything waiting. I've killed everything on the way. Ah, Bloody Bones is waiting here, and some settlers to release as well. Hello.
So the witch was right. Help has come from Sir Ferrara the Fair, who flounders in the puddles of Uduath. Such a champion should never lose his way. Not in his own song. You, new knight, leave now, forsaking the last prisoners, and I will share with you my knowledge. How I came to change things. Stay, and you'll have nothing but corpses. They are safe, but while mortals have no cares, they also have no time. I can keep them here in Uduath for as long as I wish, until they are but dust. Oh, I don't know who she is. I don't care. What concerns me is power. The power to end this pitiful design. In every song, the summer champion triumphs. His enemy falls. How long has this been the way of the telling? This existence. It is not a life. It is not a death. It is a snare in which I have struggled for centuries. No more.
Let's see whether I can manage that.
Don't play your tricks on me, Sagro. I know the House of Ballads better than you do, and that is why we should end this now, rather than prolong all our suffering.
What I did, run straight through the fight. So easy now, I'm actually focusing on you, isn't it, you fucker?
Well done, Sagwell. You have proven yourself worthy of the name. Hallam's trust in you was not misguided. I don't know what to make of Bloody's tale, but it has the ring of truth to it. We must return to Wenson and tell him what we've learned here in Uduath. Keep moving.
Oh, there's sorcery. Praying to Arilla for the favor of a haughty mistress, a shabby apprentice received this gift to gain an archmage's love. Don't know why he had them. Pretty sure I managed to keep those people alive. Yeah, there we go. They seem a bit stuck. Oops. Oh no, they've moved along. Oops. Keep hitting the wrong button. I wonder if I'll ever see these people again. Like, will they be outside in Ettenmere. It's
You
unlikely.
again. You have done it. Our people thank you.
Hey, I've got some kind of buff. Status effects. Binder's lesions. Oh, it's a negative effect. Contracted a disease. Find a healer or drink a purification potion to cure yourself. Minus 15% armor. That's no fun. Oh. How did I manage to miss this? The reagents. That's a shame. Ah, there's a treasure here. 2, in fact. Let's go and get those. I think the last 2, in fact. For Meropis. Pearl. Lovely. Have to go over here and over here. Unless I fast travel here, but I'd still need to go around. Yeah, let's fast travel. That will make things a little bit easier. I've completed the treasure of Meropis. Now what? Let's go to Goreheart because there's a healer here who can remove my curse or whatever. Was it a curse? Oh, it's not that important.
Hi.
It is good to see Goreheart overcome the fear that it harbored for so long. As far as I am concerned, all Fae are welcome here. Be safe.
Thank you. There's a third instrument that isn't represented by these two. It's a pipe, obviously, which the woman's playing, and that's too big to be a lute, so I don't know what exactly that is, but it's in the same sort of family. There's a drum for one thing. And some kind of harp. And while it might be possible to get the bass notes that I can hear out of that big thing, it's more likely to be another stringed instrument. So there's pipes, oversized lute, some kind of bass instrument, drums, and a harp. So there's 3 instruments missing. It's a nice song, but it would have been nicer if they had actually filled in all the parts. Let's go to House of Ballads. We have a hand in here.
The hero returns. I am relieved to see you well. What is happening? First Sagral, and now Bloody Bones. These are shocking developments.
Listen, Hallam and I have been discussing what transpired in Uduath. You are needed for a very special quest, a song of your very own. You must travel to the home of Tenwa, also known as the Librarian. It is an important journey, not without its perils. I know little about the Librarian, only that she and Hallam have spent many seasons studying the ebbing tides of magic and how best to preserve our ballads. She is an odd creature, quite aloof and reclusive. From what I've heard, she enjoys the scholarly arts of men with all their brittle, ink-stained quirks. Do not rouse your mortal worry for Hallam. He has left the court seeking answers to our many questions. He will return in time. If someone is corrupting the songs of this great house, Hallam will find them. He is the storyteller, and he knows our ballads better than anyone. Go to Tenwa's cottage in Haxi. She will be waiting for you. Retrieve a ballad from her collection of fey cairns. It is called The Hero and the Maid. Bring it to me, and guard it with your life. Its worth cannot be measured.
I think I've been there before. It's just that I think I picked up a quest as well from an Echo Stone, but there was no one there. So obviously you need to have this mission before she'll actually turn up.
The library is a collection of special lore stone called cairns, in which are kept the greatest of Summer Court ballads. As long as they are safe, so too are our songs. The library was not Lord Issa's idea, but the inspiration of Hallam the White. He created the cairns and cast the spell that protects them. The world is changing. Everyone knows it, even if some choose not to accept it. Even as Summer Court magic weakens, our library of lore will remain strong. Her cottage stands in the gap between Yolvan and Haxi, southeast of here. It is an isolated spot, safe. Tenwa is expecting you.
Ballads Library.
Welcome. Do come in. You must forgive my lack of hospitality. The Maid of Windermere and her minions have left me in a bit of a situation. Creth and Airmer could offer no remedy, but perhaps your mortal ingenuity will prevail where others have failed. The Great Collection was commissioned by Lord Issa himself, but it was Hallam the White who championed its creation and who crafted the Fey cairns. As long as the library and its many cairns remain, the songs of summer will have a place in this world, being sung again and again for an eternity. Surely you know the songs of Sir Creth and Sir Airmer, faithful friends and knight hands who recovered the Sword of Ryderk. Ah, but it's likely you know them from Two Knights and a Troll. That is certainly their most popular ballad. They were here only moments ago, and I sent them after the villain who did this. My hopes for rescue go with them.
I've got the Blade of Rydok.
It is a form of magic new to our kind, a creation of our own Hallam the White. It is what he and I have been doing here in the library these past few seasons. Lorestones have become a common magic among the young races. They are readily made, changed, and defiled. We Fae need a new currency of telling, a new way. The Echo Stone and the Fae Cairns are the latest in a series of experiments, as Hallam and I seek a way to protect and perpetuate our greatest songs.
Fair enough.
They were designed by Father Teir, a mortal, and I worked with Hallam the White to fashion the enchanted cairn shell itself. Quite a discovery they are. It took more than a season to conceive of, and then create the first working cairn, but it has been worth all my efforts. Our songs of summer are safe, for now. She is the Witch Magware, sworn enemy of our great house and Enchantress Supreme. She will do anything within her power to win the love of our brave King Wenson. As it is now, and as it has always been, she preys upon the wild and stupid to reach her goals. But something is different this time. She is growing ambitious. I am Tenwa, formerly a knight of the House of Ballads. Many seasons ago, I was asked to give up my post and come here to work on the Fae Cairns. Hallam has trusted me with protecting the catalogue of legendary summer feats. I guarantee that every song is sung as it should be. The maid paid me a visit this past evening. She and her accomplice, Nyx the Troll, stole my most prized cairns. All that work, and for what? With what I know, I should have expected an attack. Even this imprisonment spell, it is the same she used in the Ballad of Two Knights and a Troll. I can't recall the counterspell, of course, as that cairn was stolen. You must get them back, mortal. All of them. Especially the one you came for. As in his ballad, Nyx ran when he saw Kreth and Ermer arrive. He is clearly under the maid's curse and may be doing her bidding. He ransacked the cottage and made off into the night, his gigantic arm piled high with Fae Cairns. My Fae Cairns.
How did he get in? Trolls are too big to get through the door.
It is a tale of what happens when one wishes to become something he has not. In this case, the subject of the song was Nyx the Troll, a loathsome, pitiful brute. As a jest, the Maid of Windermere enchanted Nyx into believing he was an ordinary man. He attempted to settle in a quaint mortal village to predictable disaster. When the knights Kreth and Ermer arrived, they treated him like the man he longed to be. They challenged Nyx to a gentlemanly duel and slew him in fair combat. Her nearest lair is Sunder Caverns, where her minion Nyx makes his home. It is a craggy pit in Haxie, east. See you soon.
Probably been there as well. Sunder. Hold on, there was a mission objective outside. In Haxie somewhere. Go for the Fae Cairns. One can drop down here or something. Aha. Oh, they've seen me. I've grown beyond you. And you cannot face me. Huh. I caught it with a chakram without even meaning to. Ooh. I'm thinking of it. How full is my inventory? 62 of 70, yeah. I should actually, before I do this, travel somewhere and sell things. Because otherwise...
There you are.
The waters of the such a lovely sight.
Otherwise, I'm not going to have enough space. For the things I expect I will pick up.
Can I help you? We'd normally be better stocked, but with the blood plague, well...
Yeah, I dealt with that a while ago, didn't I?
Our doors are always open.
May as well salvage these. That's right, mate. Nice. What can I craft with this? No. Well, they're not that much worse. In terms of armor, but they don't do health regen or give me critical hit chance. So, yeah, no. Right. Now, back to Sunday. There we go. Hello, chaps. Hello, pile of stones.
Well, well. You truly fit Hallam's description. It's nice to finally gaze upon the new Sagril. I am Sir Airmer. This is my companion, Sir Creth. Ah. Welcome to Sunder Caverns. If you've come in search of the Maid of Windermere, I must disappoint you. She's nowhere to be found. Oh, you wish to know about the storyteller? Ha! Not even I know the ballads of Hallam the White. His telling is the most secret of all, and he's worked hard to keep it so. Well, that being said, I have complete trust in his judgment, even about you.
That is a bit odd, that Hallam keeps his tellings secret. Although, I suppose it prevents someone else from stepping into the same role. Because there is a certain amount of that happens with ordinary tellings and Fae.
I am Sir Airmer at your service. My oath-bond brother and knight-hand Creth and I were the knights who returned the flaming sword of Ryderk. I believe that there is no higher calling than the House of Ballads. We are all that stands between glory and complete anonymity. He is my shadow, always there when I need him, and his courage never falters. We are one. When ballads call for Sir Airmer, Sir Creth will be close behind. It was the fabled blade used to beat back the Balgan during an incursion many seasons ago. Creth and I still argue over which of us the blade truly belonged to.
I've got that blade, although I don't have any ornaments to turn it into a sword.
You too? Well, I managed to find one, but there are plenty more. The maid had them. She was here one moment, but gone the next, as is her way. She did leave behind her old ally, Nyx the Troll, to give us a bit of trouble and slow our pursuit. Creth and I have fought Nyx more times than I dare count. You could say he's an old friend. If you're interested in joining our little hunting party, feel free.
God, I hope these dudes don't die.
Oh, it's you.
I do rather like... well, I like... Creth. I don't know about him, who went, oh, it's you. That was a bit uncalled for.
Look who's here.
Erma. That was a much more friendly one, wasn't it? Look who's here. I could probably get components out of the scepters rather than just selling them, but I can't be bothered. The odds aren't great. It's weird behavior for bears. They're usually very solitary. Although I suppose in fairness, this is a fantasy world with giant monsters like trolls, so maybe bears would have developed differently. Maybe they hang out in probably family packs. Thanks, Emma. Worried about me, coming to find me. That's nice of you. Fully aware of me. I can't stab anyone. Well, there's one over here I could get. Complete awareness, never mind.
Watch yourself. Smell that.
What's up here? Burgess. And who left all these crates around?
Smell that.
I mean, I can't imagine that this smells good, so... yeah. Doubt there was anything in here to fight, or, well, it would have shown up on the minimap. And, Creth would still be here. local map. Cool. Thanks, guys, for just going up ahead. I would catch up, but there's so many things to grab.
Watch yourself.
I appreciate your concern, but you actually don't need to worry about me. I'm better at fighting than you are. By a fairly wide margin.
Move it! Don't bother me. I'm not your brother. Not yet. Fight well, and perhaps I'll look upon you with fresh eyes. It is no fell trick to find yourself one of the chosen few. It is not a jest or a game or a trifle. It is a responsibility to be undertaken with dread caution. No dustling has ever fallen in with the ranks of the court. So far, our banner has fallen.
You barely know me.
Irmer and I have sworn allegiance to one another first and foremost. When his sword draws blood, mine is soon to follow. It has been so for seasons. My true name is Trek, and I am the first and only one to have acted in the role of Sir Creth. He was the sternest of heroes. He had no taste for pageantry and decorum.
See, this acted in the role of he was the sternest of heroes implies that there was like a first generation of, well, there was a first generation Creth, and Trek has come along and taken the role, but the fact that he is the only one still is very impressive.
Oh, I could kill him if I wished to, but that is not how the song is sung. Have you any other stupid questions?
That's fair enough.
Goodbye.
Around here, nothing. Okay. Here is Creth the Troll. Just straight in.
I loathe trolls. Disgusting creatures.
Right, let's spend some time with the repair kit. The rest seems alright.
Keep up,
Come on, face the direction I'm looking in, would you? Vekreth's cap. My might is my right, say Vekreth's followers. They are proud and disciplined, united in despising weakness, casually brutal in pursuit of their own interests. So this would give me extra critical hit damage, damage versus heavily wounded targets. I don't know how much that actually helps. I mean, you already got them down pretty low. Critical hit damage with more pieces of the set, finesse abilities, and health. I mean, we'll take it and add it to my collection.
Quiet. Too quiet.
2 Knights and a Troll Part 2. Sources of Fire Hindrance. I don't think I care about them.
That wasn't so terrible now, was it? Still, I'm baffled as to why Nyx was outside Sunder Caverns. It was surely not to play his part in the coming ballad. There's more going on here than Creth and I are party to, and I want to know what. We'll speak again back at the House of Ballads. And Sagro, thank you. These are times of change, and we all must be on our guard. Goodbye.
How does Creth feel? Come here, you.
Out of King Wenson is eternal, but still should not be kept waiting.
Fair enough.
Goodbye.
That's it. And I have a shortcut. So I'll see you guys later. Can't get through that way. Oh yeah, Grim. Not fond of him. Let's go back to the House of Ballads then, I guess. Oh. Do I not have a mission here? So I have probably a mission leading me down here, and I have a mission taking me over to Helmgard Keep. Not sure which one to go for. I don't know, let's go to the Wolds, I guess. Oh, but before that, I'll go to Canarok and drop off a few of the items I've picked up, because they're just taking up space in my inventory. As they are at the moment. Rilla, Vekreth, Theoden. There's of the Legion. And a ceremonial thing as well. A ceremonial set. Wonder whether I'll actually find the other pieces of these. Oops. Nice. pop that into junk so it sells. And oh yeah, I've now got those ballad records, so I can figure out how to free this lady.
Oh, excellent! But you've returned without the most important cairn of all. Troubling. But this is a challenge for later. For now, you must break this cursed spell. As you've no doubt noticed, those cairns are warded and will not reveal their secrets. They will, however, last an eternity. Perhaps even longer. I knew they would find Nyx. After all, it is their telling to deal with his maddening ways, even if that means slaying him time after time. Those cairns are like lore stones, but special. They're enchanted, and the only way to unlock their contents is to use the Echo Stone. The one in the next room is one of Hallam's early attempts, but it should work. Go listen to 2 Knights and a Troll. Find the words that will free me from this prison. It is a magical shrine, specially created to hold the most glorious of Fae songs through tragedy and time. There is one in the other room. See you soon.
I don't know, I would really call this... I really would call this one whole room. But sure.
May the stone sing your song to the ages. May the breath of time remember you. Listen. Listen as the Echo Stone etches each ballad in memory. The story of 2 valiant souls I bring. Of the lords named Aermer and Creth I sing. 2 hearts united against common foes. The thoughts of one in mind, the other knows. Lord Creth of Knights, most stoic and grave. Lord Aermer's hand and shadow the brave. And gentle Aermer, his equal in might. Dawn to Creth's dusk, day to his night. Here is the tale of how they stopped a troll. The Maid of Windermere corrupted its soul. The troll named Nyx had a most troubled heart. In nature was it displeased with its part. It hated its difference from the norm, and wished to shed its current form. In grief it went to the Maid of Windermere. She motioned to Nyx, and beckoned him near. It is your wish to be human, I see, she whispered to the troll in glee. I shall grant your wish, and make you so. You are a human now, she cackled. Go.
I don't know, this rhyming scheme is a bit simplistic, and I don't feel like the lines are even in syllable length, which is a bit less pleasing to me than the very simple rhyming scheme.
And so the troll named Nyx, to town it came, never suspecting it was still the same. It crushed the road and split the wall, and Creth and Aermer were sure to fall. They faced the troll and fought to no avail. The wise knights knew what was wrong in our tale. The treacherous Maid of Windermere at play. We know in part what is wrong with this Fae. And so Lord Aermer shouted to Lord Creth, challenged this troll to a duel to the death. The troll still under the wicked maid's spell, and was human, it thought, and all was well. Rampaged throughout the countryside in joy, treating all as toys. Lord Aermer slowly approached him and said, if you are human, deal as such instead. Face us, if that is your fate. Duel us, and reveal the truth of your state. Then the troll and fae did battle and fought. Alas, all was not as the troll had thought. After he had won, Lord Creth said to Nyx, with a mind to ease and a will to fix, "You are a troll, and that is good, my friend. You have no faults, no wrong to mend. But if it be your wish to join their kind, a better way you must find. There is naught wrong with following your will, as long as it does not bring others ill." Again the heroes of honor stayed true. The story of a troll, and the knights too.
I don't know how that helps.
Hello.
Break this spell.
Did you discover the words to the counterspell? I thought that was it. Apparently not. See you soon. Are you ready to speak the counterspell? No, that's not it. Try again. See you soon.
Okay. Wow. 2 curses.
Are you ready to
Unpleasant.
speak the counterspell? That's it. That's it. Hear me and don't forget a word. What Hallam feared is coming to pass. Somehow, using a new and twisted magic, the Maid of Windermere hopes to alter the telling. At this moment, she possesses the single most important song in our canon, the hero and the maid. If its story changes, we are all at risk. You must warn the House of Ballads. Time is running out for all of us. It is a tale of what happens when one wishes to become something he has not. In this case, the subject of the song was Nyx the troll, a loathsome, pitiful brute. As a jest, the Maid of Windermere enchanted Nyx into believing he was an ordinary man. He attempted to settle in a quaint mortal village to predictable disaster. When the knights Creth and Aylmer arrived, they treated him like the man he longed to be.
Refreshed.
Go find Wenson and Hallam. It may already be too late. I will sing of you, my friend.
Yeah, I've got a pair of curses there I need to remove. What do they actually do? Minus 50% mana regen and minus 25% damage resistance. Fun. So that's going to be a bit expensive.
May I help you?
I certainly hope so.
Be careful out there.
Behave.
What do you need?
You may search the Empire 10 times over, but you will not find your beloved Wenson, nor his foolish court of enchantments. They, like you, are mine. Dream of me, lovely, for we shall be together soon. The time is coming.
That'll be the Maid of Windermere.
Good to see you.
Is this Hallam? No, Galen. Did you not notice anything?
Good day to you.
No, nothing new.
Goodbye.
Alright.
Congratulations.
You are well. The same cannot be said of the king, nor of the court of enchantments. In my absence, the maid has taken them all. Tenwa says that the greatest of ballads, the hero and the maid, was not recovered. This song, above all the others, must be found. You have acted as our agent thus far, Sagril. Do you continue to stand by us? With all our heroes gone, you may very well be our last light in the darkness. In that ballad, King Wenson defeats the Maid of Windermere once and for all. He confesses his love to trick her into an embrace. It is close enough for him to strike. If the maid is truly altering our ballads towards more favorable outcomes for her and her minions, then she could rewrite her own demise. She could avoid it altogether.
Well, her minions have not fared very well once they've met me. Let's be honest.
You are no stranger to death, so you must have felt it. The fall of all magic. I have foreseen it for seasons. And as I am not one to stand by, I chose to act. With a small group of dedicated individuals, Fae and mortal alike, I set about preparing a way for the great songs of the Summer Court to find permanence. The Cairns are the result of this effort. They are magic, but magic that will not fade. I knew I could count on you. In the face of uncertainty, your loyalty has proven steadfast. It is no use for us to combat the Maid of Windermere when we do not understand her new magic. There is only one man I know who might shed light on our ignorance. His name is Father Eter. He is a monk and an alchemist, and a trusted friend. Eter may have the answers we seek. It is the foundation of our great inheritance, the canon of stories celebrated by all the Summer Fae. In it begins our timeless struggle with the Maid of Windermere. Driven mad by our love for King Wenson, the maid finally ensnares him with a spell of longing and retreats to her castle. There she waits to consummate the union. All is not lost. Wenson fights the enchantment, inspired by his ardor for Belmaid, his true beloved. Taking the maid in his embrace, he slays her once and for all.
Until the next telling, as the cycle continues.
The creation of a new form of magic, a permanent magic, was a necessity for our kind. The rise of the mortal races coincides with our decline. Lore stones are a faulty method of remembrance, one that can be changed, destroyed. But the Cairns, they are invulnerable to harm. They are forever. Father Eter watches over a small Almain mission in the southeast, St. Edric's. You will know it by the runes on the hill. Go, find Eter.
Which one was that? Southeast. St. Edric's, there we go. Oops. Dang it. This religious text advises against the evils of drinking to excess and its repercussions. That's quite a lot. The righteous St. Hadwin spoke of wine as his little friend in the faith, for it can serve to muster the courage and settle the stomach. It balances the humours in the same fashion as Mitharu's order equilibrates the disarray of this mortal life, strengthening the sick of body and calming the wounded of spirit. Well, if you feel like reading, I'm sure you can pause the video. Well, that'll be easier on YouTube. Prayer book. Thursday. The margins of this weathered old journal are the daily devotionals and musings of Father Eter, spiritual leader of St. Edric's perpetual mission in Haxey. Not in Haxey. The strange crystal sits atop my desk. I cannot take my eyes from it. It is not out of adoration or even fascination, but out of a tense, foreboding dread that never escapes me, not even as I lay in my bunk at night, hoping that I have not doomed my young charges by bringing this cursed thing up from the underground. Perhaps the most troubling development is how the crystal affects young brother Wolf. This person sitting across the chamber from me is no longer my bright, friendly apprentice, but a heavy-eyed fanatic. The strange allure of the crystal has touched him on some spiritual level. He has not been to chapel in days. He has not bathed or eaten. He does not respond to his name, and when does not notice. When he does take notice of the others around him, he does so with a gruff sneer. I grieve for him as one mourns the deceased. All day long he stares at the crystal, or plays to it with his whistle, making the swirling red surface flash. My prayers do nothing. All of my research, all of my training, none of it has provided the answers I seek. What is this strange substance, and from where does it derive its magic? What created it, and how did it come to be beneath our mission? Better yet, how it probably doesn't want to be there. How can I dispose of it? How can I dispose of it without hurting my dear friends? Or how can I get rid of it without hurting my dear friends? So many questions, but no answers come. Perhaps tomorrow Mitharu will provide. He has yet to disappoint me. I unlocked that last time I was here, so I don't actually need the key. Oh yes, already checked that, didn't I? So is this the crystal? Or has Brother Wolf taken it?
Welcome, friend. I hope this day finds you well, my friend. If you travel to the Shi, you can find a place to stay at the Vorm Brothers' Lodge. Traders, I hear. After their parents passed on, they came to the Shi and opened up a lodge. Go with me.
We're not in Haxey. Haxey's here. This is the Shi. And the divide is there. here.
Varu, child.
Hello, child. Welcome to St. Edric's. You're here to meet with Father Eter, yes? The Father's always playing host to interesting individuals such as yourself. His quarters are on the second floor of the mission bunkhouse. Most of his days are spent inside working on his research. I don't understand a word of it. It dried up several months ago, so we sent several brothers down to try and find some deeper reserves. Father Eter had great interest in Mitharu's natural splendors. He volunteered to lead the project, with Wolf by his side, of course. In another life, Wolf was a butcher in Gallifore. He's a naive sort, and his gifts do not lie in prayer. But Father Eter believed that Wolf had been called. No, I knew that they were arguing, but I never imagined that it would lead to murder. It's enough to make a man question his faith. Father Eter and his apprentice brother Wolf, they were inseparable, like a true father and son. It was a shared love of alchemy that brought them together. But since their work repairing the village well, they've been acting tense, even hostile. Just this morning I saw Eter fetching water. But now he's gone. Mitharu save us all. You're free to search the bunkhouse. Please, if you can shed any light on this tragedy, we'll do all we can to assist you. Father Eter and his apprentices conducted many experiments. He had a strong interest in alchemy and the magic of other races. There's proof of it everywhere. Farewell.
Whilst I'm here, after delivering that dreadful news, I'll nick some of your ingredients.
Bless you.
I'm sure there's a mission that takes you down into the area under the well, but... or a quest, I guess. Or a way to get down in there, but... apparently... cannot find it.
Welcome, friend.
Or well, at least it's not active at the moment, but this is probably the well. Huh, that's been locked again. But I know where there's a key. Saturday. A strange maiden arrived today from beyond the She. She had come about the crystal. I knew at once who she was, despite who she claimed to be. Hallam has filled my head with enough fey tales for me to recognize the maid of Windermere. If only I could have frozen the faces of my young charges as they watched this enchanted creature walk among them. Poor fools, they did not comprehend the danger they face. The maid is no mere woman, but a powerful magician who could kill any of us with the flick of her smallest finger. I lied to her about the crystal. I had no choice. She must believe that I am either too smart to surrender the crystal or too stupid to have discovered it in the first place. But make no mistake, she will return, and when she does, there must be no trace of what has transpired here. I must dispose of the cursed thing as soon as possible. But where shall I do it? I beg you, Mitharu, please gift me with the guidance to protect my sons and do the right thing. Now, apparently I need to find a mysterious empty case that holds traces of red crystal dust from whatever was once housed inside. On the front is a label that reads, "Crystals from the well excavation." Descend the mission well. It's probably going to be oh no, it's not that one, it's this one. Okay. Prismere. There is some amount of water down here. So there's water flowing in from outside somewhere, but where is it flowing out to? Because to maintain this water level, water has to be leaving at about the same rate as it is entering. Hello, chap. Ow. Jesus. Cut that out, will you? A greater infected fulcrum will be one that applies poison, won't it? Ooh, tripwire. There's traps down here. What that was attached to. Crossbow. Disarm. Arrow launcher trap. Yeah, I don't think that I want to leave that live. Oh, and there's a... another launcher trap. Looks like. Yeah, disarm tripwire. Arrow launchers. No thank you, that's no fun. Well, not for me. They're all going off. He's going off. So what? Oh right, he's got a missing crystal. Okay. Lots of kobolds down here. Oh. Which way is he facing? Definitely going to be Prismere in it. Dang it! Straight into a trap. Completely unavoidable. Lovely. Well, at least it's sprung now. Doesn't give me much time, does it? To react and stop pushing. Oh, this is quite a lot of water down here, eh? Prisma dust. Running about with it. Dim, aren't they? They're not really attacking in concert. This would be much more difficult if they were capable of attacking together with tactics. Take all of them, and that, and that, and that's junk, I think. What? It's fire time. Hurrah! I have all of the... That's a dead kobold. Alright. I thought it was a dead person, but no. Or a human, rather. I expect that the kobolds are people. Let's take lockpicking. Always succeed when forcing very easy locks. Easy, average, hard. What fate got unlocked before again? Can't see it anywhere. And that's a white arrow, which means it's well, it's probably going to be Brother Wolf, I expect. And I'll talk to him and find out what's possessed him. Or altered him. And kill him, I expect. Unless he's already dead. Oh no, he's moving. Alright.
Stay back. I don't know who you are or how you've found me, but you will not have the crystals. They are mine. Don't make me kill another. That was my name, yes. But it means nothing now. Not after everything I've seen, everything I've done. I'm a cursed soul now. Mitharu has chewed me up and spit me out. They radiate a strange, wild magic. A force that can cause change, or even destruction. The witch wishes to use the crystals to corrupt other types of magic. I lost my true father in the mines of Abatir. In many ways, Ater took his place. Taught me to respect hard work, discipline, the blessing of order in a chaotic world. I had no choice. He was trying to destroy the crystals. He didn't understand that we'd been chosen, that the crystals wanted us to possess them. The strange woman was right. She knew the crystal's power. That's why she wanted them. But we told her nothing. When she left, Father dropped the crystals back into the well. But they sang to me, told me to kill him and rescue them. Their voices, so beautiful. She was a fae, quite beautiful. Called herself the Maid of Windermere. Father Ater was suspicious of her kindness and threw the crystals down the well. It was his idea to lie when the maid asked him about the crystal's properties, its strength, endless questions, but he told her nothing. I haven't found it yet. I was searching the well tunnels when I was attacked by kobolds. Nasty things. Father Ater did something to the crystal. Hid it by way of magic. Priest using magic. Unforgivable.
Why? Because it's a priest, or because it hid the crystal?
The crystals give off a glorious music. Can you not hear? It speaks to me. I've spent hours playing my whistle and watching the crystals shimmer with joy. Father Ater believed that the magic within the crystals responded to the tones and rhythms of song, almost as if they were a living thing.
Let's see whether we can do this.
Oh, Father Ater, what have I done? I never meant anyone harm, especially not the Father. Please, you must help me destroy the crystals, stop the corruption. My whistle may help you find them. I use it to speak to the crystals, sing to them. I am not a bad man, just a weak one. I will pay for this sin for the rest of my life, however long I wish that to be. Get out of here. Oh.
Have I not found all of them now?
Oh.
Whistle. Ah. There's one more here. That was a spooky noise. I'm glad that my dispelling was high enough level that I could free him. Maybe I should break those things down in case I get like rivets and stuff. I wonder why it's on a skeleton. Oh, scarlet flowstone. Alright. Let's play the whistle again. Aha! That looks like raw Prismere. Lorca Rain? Huh. Where did I come out of? Is there a cave back here or something? Or has magic connected the two places? Alright, well, let's go back to House of Ballads, I think. Yeah.
Leave it to Hallam the White and his pet to expose my plans. You will regret ever joining the House of Ballads.
I don't think I will.
You will have to try better than that, beloved. I keep secrets for a reason. I wanted the mission's crystals, but the mortal and his boy would not cooperate. But I always find a way to get what I desire. Don't we all? I am known as the Maid of Windmere, but that is all you shall learn this day.
Should have been fairly obvious.
Winston is with me, and he will stay with me until I deem it fit to return him. If the House of Ballads wishes to have its king, it must send its greatest warrior. Since I have all of them, that leaves you. Come, I wish to collect you as well. I will be waiting.
This is not just about the court anymore. You have roused the maid's interest, and it is clear she wishes to add you to her collection. We must do as she commands, but we will be prudent in how we proceed. This ballad, the champion, is one to be undertaken with great caution. So, Sagril, are you ready to make the preparations and depart? Now is the time. I cannot foresee the outcome of these events, Sagril. This version of the telling has never been told. I can hardly bear to think of what is coming. You must do all you can to preserve the House of Ballads, even as the maid tempts you with her promises of freedom. We have a responsibility to what has come before. She covets King Wenson and always has, by taking the whole court of enchantments. She is sending a strong message. Revenge is now what she desires most. There is more. There is you. The maid is a curious sort. one whose interest is easily aroused. Your presence has altered the telling, and she wishes to learn why.
Because I have no fate.
It is a tragic ballad of a knight who entered the Maid's Kingdom only to fall prey to her enchantments. His name was Sir Elswin, and he had the best of intentions. Elswin gloriously overcame Windermere's defenses, but it was on the edge of the Weeping Gorge that the maid came to him and clouded his thoughts. Now he stands forever as the maid's lone champion, defender at the gates. All who wish to enter the kingdom of Windermere must go through him.
I wonder if I'll get an opportunity to try and dispel the spell on him.
Then it is time. You are the last knight of the House of Ballads. You represent all that we've been through, all that we are, in this telling and all those to come. There is little you can do to prepare for the journey ahead, but take another resurrection potion like the one you used to save Ferrara. You may need it. This is all I can offer you. The rest of the story is yours to tell. One can always find what is sought if the desire is strong enough. Venture northeast of the House of Ballads, and you will find your way. You are our last hope, Sagril.
I kind of want to hold off, until I have got better dispelling, so that
yes, Sagril?
If the option is possible, I'll have a better chance of doing it. It seems like it's the last part of the House of Ballads storyline, so I could just leave off and go and do a bunch of other stuff. Like, maybe not go all the way to Cluricon and Alabastra, but do a bunch of stuff over here and down here, I think. Get my dispelling up and then come back and see whether I can dispel the enchantment on...
Yes?
On the dude.
There are bandits out there. Fight the plague.
Can I help you?
I really hope I get rivets out of these things. Or at least, you know, magic components that I can actually use. Weak rivets. Greater Sage Grip. Crude hilt, simple bindings. That's not really basic trim. Greater Frosted Fulcrum, that's quite good. Crude hilt. Immunity lining, that's poison resistance, isn't it? That's not that great. Weak rivets, basic trim. No, that's not worth it, is it?
You're always welcome at the Crafters Guild. Our doors are always open.
Your fire's always lit, apparently. So, let's... yeah, let's go this way, to the Wolds. Poison resistance. I get attacked by this wolf, aren't I? Maybe not. Oh, the Archie's seen me. Thanks, Archie. That was really helpful of you. I wouldn't have got away with it too if not for this stupid Fae. Oh, probably want to add that greatsword to my and that to junk, damn it. Okay. There was damage reflection and a steel greatsword for some reason. I'm now in the plains of Erethel, which is a divided line down here, isn't it? And there probably is a dividing line here as well. Erethel and Dalantarth. And a big old mountain that we will go up later. And we'll beat up some demons hiding out up there. And then come down the other side. I think with a giant hammer. Oh, as expected. No, I've got azurite blades, haven't I? Who's that? Ratifer. With a mission, I think. Although I can't see it from here. I can't see the exclamation mark above his head, I mean, from here. He's not showing up on my map at all, actually, is he? Oh, he's Gordon Lott. And the reason he's not showing up as an arrow is because he is showing up as... I think that's Fate Weaver?
They were the harbingers of the fall, these children of dust. and they lit the forest with their fires, and then split it with their blades. We crept back, shapeless in the darkness, silent in the trees. The shadows are few in this age of mortals. The light beckons.
I don't think I want to disturb him whilst he's visiting a grave. That seems a bit churlish. You know all the moves. You get hurt if you don't. No, you obviously don't. What's this up here? Mergen. Okay.
Strange creatures, these mortals. They wake, they work, they worry. It is a joyless undertaking, life. The Wolds now bear the mark of time, of smoke and frailty, and there is more. A wearying of magic. Did these mortals bring it with them in their tents and wagons, or is it a symptom of something much more sinister?
It's a symptom of something much more sinister. A Fey location, quite obviously. What is it called again? Cronout. I'm sure we'll get a mission to go in there, or quest, I should say. Are they in boiled leather? Looks like it. Contains white flake. Oh, chicken coop. Probably. Oops. I was going for the barrels, not the chicken. It's night. We don't want to go bugging the young lady. Let's have them. go up here. What do you do? Might abilities. Very pleasant bit of guitar music going on in there, isn't there? Come on. I might get something useful out of those. These chicken coops aren't protected very well against predators like foxes and wolves. It's unusual to see chickens out and about at night as well, but then I suppose adding a sleep cycle for chickens that matched the day-night cycle would probably have been a bit too complex. The game is already quite evidently limited in other ways. Let's go down and circle round. I think there's a hollow log up there.
Greetings.
Or is it up there? No, it definitely is. Oh, hey. Hello. Lovely. And another one. They're very diseased looking, aren't they? Skin colour does not look healthy, nor do the gaps in the fur or the huge boils. Which is pretty unpleasant. These big standing stones look a lot like the echo stones that you put the small... Oh jeez, I can't remember what they're called. What am I looking for? Is it going to be a pile of rocks? But it is, isn't it? Oh no, hollow log. There we go. Although I suppose it makes sense. I mean, they're presumably of Fey design, along with Yeah, definitely Fey. The swirls are very, very Fey, aren't they? Along with the, well, the design of the Echo Stones will also be Fey. Can I creep up on these two? I expect so. They're not facing... Oh, there's 3 of them. Oh no, there's one facing this way. That's annoying. Can I get around? Yeah, I can get this one. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oft here have Fey-born friends stood and gazed on ancient stone. Oft too have Alfar and humans stood just the same, silent, searching. From crumbling rubble what hymns rise from their yearning hearts. The children of dust deny no gods, but they stroke these stones like statues. Hand of Enodon, hem of Lyria.
Oh, hello. Wolf. Keep running at me after you know that you're in range of my ranged attacks. How do you know? Because you get hit by them. But don't worry about that. Just keep running at me. I'm sure it'll work out. Probably as far down this way as I want to go, or I run the risk of discovering the next area early. Maybe not. Talarain, it's probably still not really worth running all the way down there though. It's a rather ruined looking cottage, isn't it? Rond Farm. Interesting how it's built on terraces. Like the farm up here as well. This is basically the same size, so I'm not quite sure why this doesn't have a village next to it, whereas the other one does. That's a bit odd. What am I looking for? Ah, pile of rocks. Come on, wakey wakey.
Draw your weapon! No. No! Please help, stranger. Madness from the river tainted the grain. Eating grain breeds sickness in the mind. We need help. I I need your help. Monsters know about river. Refuse help. Denrit? Denrit's been dead for... No! Please save my mind, lest I forget everything. There's too much. Help us! The river. Something in the water grows into the grain. Oh, the grain's meant to be... shipped to Melsenshire, but can't spread madness. Crenault. Go to Crenault. Strange man. Jenica traveled there. Must have done something. Poison river with madness. Aiton, no help. If grain reaches troops, end up like Denrit. Caged. Murderous.
Sounds pretty bad.
Jenica. Tainted water. Crenault. We ate the grain and we went mad. The grain, water from the river tainted. Need to find cure before grain reaches troops. Strange man, Jenica, went up river. Must have tainted the river in... Crenault feeds the river. Go there. He must heal. By the gods, these visions!
Yeah, that can't be fun. It's a hollow log. Splendid. This, yeah, there we go. That's Crenault. I thought so. But let's run up here, explore the rest of it before we go to Crenault. I think. Oh, there's a warded chest over there. Hello. Varani wine. Junk. Junk. Ooh, you had something. Let's have it. Gold. Yum yum. Well, not yum yum, but lovely shiny. Of course, the guard of the prison did nothing to help. Probably didn't notice. Hello, chaps. Let's break them down. Hopefully we'll get something nice out of them. That's steel, isn't it? Why do I care about a steel hammer? There's 4 tents, but there are only 3 dudes. Obviously used to be a farmstead before it was destroyed. Probably attacked by those freemen. stuff to find in the middle. Ah, a windmill. Unlike the presumably just magical mill, it's died. A lot of bravado for people who die very easily. They don't have anything. Alright. I mean, self-confidence is good, but not when it's reckless and entirely baseless. Well, I guess the people that they've met so far haven't been as ludicrously dangerous as me, so no reason to know, I guess. I mean, with that said though, I am glowing with blue magic shield and then green on my hands. So it's not like... there isn't a clue. Although if they are in hiding, waiting for... Ooh, hello. I'm almost full of stuff. I must find a place to get rid of my stuff. I suppose if they're in hiding, waiting, they may not be able to see very well. It's the hollow log. And, well, although... will I even be able to pick up whatever it is that's in there? Yes, jolly good. Alright, let's, I don't know, go... world map. Diamond Hill. Because I know that there are merchants here, as opposed to kind of guessing.
Did you hear? Thaddeus, dead of the
What mission is this?
plague.
Oh, Camden, that's right.
Can I help you? We'd normally be better stocked, but with the blood plague, well...
So junk. Yay, stuff. Now let's pick up... are there any repair packs here? No.
Come back
Okay,
anytime.
he might have some.
Inga won't bite. Just tell her what you want mended.
Do you have any repair kits? Yes.
So long.
Right. Crude weight's not really what I wanted out of that, but okay. Rivets. Basic grip. That was a bit disappointing.
There are bandits out there, despite the plague.
So who do I need to speak to? Here we are.
You're a brave soul coming to Didenhill. This little village is faring pretty badly, and I would know. I was in the war. It's in your best interest to fill your pack and depart as soon as you're able. The blood plague works fast. Very fast. It's pretty nasty, and I've seen my fair share of infections and ailments. We had plenty of them in the trenches and on the walls of Melson Shear.
Why would medieval warfare have trenches? And again, this is medieval warfare with magic, so... I wonder why he's here. I wasn't expecting to find him alive.
You don't want to know about me. Besides, that name hardly means anything to me now. I came back different. A shadow of the boy from Goreheart. I'd rather not talk about it, if that's okay with you. I think about the war enough as it is, and I doubt these wolves will ever let me forget it.
Wolds. Why did he say wolds instead of wounds? That's really weird.
It was once an old Alfar outpost. Nothing extraordinary. And it became the last line of defense, where we held back the Tuatha through long nights of fire. Melson Shear is where I lost this hand. Where I knew I'd never come home the same man that I left. You met Gisela?
Which hand?
Yeah. I sent that death notice. She should know that I'm dead. She cannot know that I survived. Call me a coward. Call me whatever you wish. I am not the same man she wed so long ago. I am broken. I cannot subject her to the nightmares, the wounds, the restlessness. I will spare her that torment.
Let her make up her mind about it.
I don't know. I've endured much, but perhaps she has endured even more. Her silent vigil has no doubt been as trying as my time on the battlefield. You're right. This reunion is one we both deserve. We have earned our happiness. How could I have ever considered anything else? Thank you, truly. Thank you. I paid a scholar to fashion a false death notice, the kind the army uses to inform the next of kin that a soldier has fallen in the line of duty. A courier left with it several days ago. All my hope for Gisela's future went with it.
So, is he going to leave? Nope, he's going to sit down. Okay, I should probably go and tell her, though. And maybe he'll have teleported over there by the time I get here.
It is you! I never dared hope that this day would come. Once you start to believe in the fantasy, the reality becomes too unbearable to return to. Camden has returned to me, and you have made it so. You have done the impossible, and for that, I owe you more than this meager reward. I can see a future now, where before there was only the harsh cold of a long winter. Now there is the warmth of spring. Thank you.
Hope he isn't violent with PTSD. That would be pretty awful.
Farewell.
Yeah, Camden has obviously gone even faster than me with my fast travel. Oops. There we go. Did I just try and attack that chicken? What does my character have against chickens? Alright, let's... Oops. Hayton, I think. Aha, missions. Few sorry leaflets are tied to the old board. Most are too weathered to read, but 2 postings seem recent. Bandit bounty. Bandits have been plaguing the Wolds since the war crippled Ayton. Fenwick Ivor will pay a bounty for any bandit armbands turned into him. Right, let's do that. And the bandit leader, I'm sure I can manage them as well. Though bandits have always harried the roads outside of Ayton, their attacks grow fiercer daily, and their leader, Castor, grows bolder. Fenwick Ivor will pay to see him put down. Yep, I can do that too. So there was this lady with a mission.
Yes.
Or a quest.
Strangers strange come to Ayton. Few come by these roads nowadays. A hard gaze falls on Ayton. Many are the burdens and few are the reliefs. Someone must go to Ayton Circle. Someone must call the Erethel. Though our wheat grows strong, the citizens do not. We sowed a crop that was untimely reaped. We need intervention, lest we end up like Talarain, a monument to nothing, with kobolds and raiders squabbling over our bones. The last remaining farm in the Wolds. There has been much talk of it, how Denrit and Allred Rond have gone mad. Even Finwick refuses to investigate, so wary is he of catching the madness.
You have to eat the grain to go mad from it.
Hoping to hear a song for coin from Old Nell. I haven't sung for years, stranger, not since the war started. Ratifer. After a decade, he begs me payment for the ring, and so his promise is finally broken. Very well. I should be lucky to die unmarried rather than a widow.
I've got no idea what that's about.
A forgotten spot in these plains. The land still bears grain, but few reap the crops they did before the war. Only Ron Farm stands, and Flame has gutted it. The others have fallen into the hands of the freemen, bandits, marauders.
Quite a lofty name for such horrible little buggers.
A circle of the windstones nearby. When the voices from its stones sing a certain melody, the Erethel will come and end our tribulations. Each stone is a voice in the song. When all have sung in their part, the Erethel will appear. But if not, dark things for these dark times will show instead. The stones. I am unworthy. I do not think they will sing to me. You must go. It must be you. Make the stones sing their song. You will? Ayton Circle is to the south of town. Each stone carries a note of the song. In the right order, they form the song as it was to be sung. But they will not suffer a cacophony. If the songs you play will not call the Erethel, it will call darker things for these dark times.
That sounds like, the Scaru.
Everyone knows the song. It starts on the highest note and descends down the scale. Wait a moment. Perhaps it was start at the lowest note and descend up. Well, something like that anyway. Flutter away.
Thanks, that's really helpful. Oh, hold on. There was stuff over here, wasn't there? Well, that's the one. Sustaining bindings, nice. And add them to Jock. And there's another quest to pick up here from Ratifer. And then we'll go to Cranot, I think. Find out what the business, what the deal is there. Glad you don't have to stop at those nodes.
Hail, Wanderer. Would you spare a moment? I have a favor to ask you. It was not always the empty place you see now, but it has become little more than a stopping point between Dalentarth and Rathir for travelers.
Is he really small, or am I just standing on like a slope or something?
Not much to speak of, just another soul wandering the plains trying to get by. This used to be a peaceful place full of farmlands. It is still a quiet place, but now the freemen are lurking around just looking to murder and thieve. In appearances, perhaps, I'm just an alpha that needs your help. I have a few belongings to sell, and unfortunately, I've done little to endear myself to Ayton's folk. Will you sell them in my stead? The arrangement is simple. I give you an item and you sell it. I take a cut, you keep the profit. And will repeat until I have nothing to sell. Understand?
What are you selling?
I thought you had the look of a trader about you. I have several items for you to sell. If you prefer, you could just buy them all now from me and sell them later.
Is it just me, or does this sound like a multi-level managing thing?
As you wish. The items are in acceptable condition, if nothing else, but they might stand a little polish here and there. Take my silverware, for example. Is somewhat tarnished, but Ban Ron could use the metal. If you melted it down, he'd likely pay more for it. I want you to sell it. Ban Ron, the local smithy, will have use for the silver, I'm sure. If you process the silver down to a raw form, he might pay more for it.
Why do you have silver? Yeah, we're definitely on a slope, weren't we? Why do you have silver that you don't need any... don't have any use for anymore? You little weirdo.
Welcome to the smithy.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the clanging hammer. Don't see many new faces in Ayton these days. My forge is open. Before Talarain fell to ruin, it was Ayton's fields and villagers that stocked and supplied the various citadels there. But the war hit us hard. Bandits plagued the roads. Even Rond Farm has burned to soot. They have been lingering around the Wolds. Be cautious on the roads out there. Those freemen like to sneak up on wanderers.
Yep, I've noticed. They're also not very good at fighting.
It's quiet here. Farmland mainly. But between Rond Farm and the freemen, we've got our own worries. I've seen this before. I made these for Retifer, back when he was still lording over us. I suppose the war finally caught up with him. That was good silver if I recall. But I've many other jobs to deal with before I'll get to salvaging it. Fine, here's some coin. Forge is yours, whenever you need.
Maybe I should have... Iron gauntlets? No, I don't think so. Oh yeah, I got them as a reward, didn't I? 8 armor? No, I don't think so. Junk. Maybe I should have melted them down.
Welcome to the smithy.
I wonder whether I can... Plains of Erethel. Yeah, let's... That was only a couple of minutes ago. I'll probably get more for the silver if I melt them down.
Welcome to the smithy. Welcome to the clanging hammer. Don't see many new faces in Ayton these days. My forge is open. Before but the war hit us hard. Forge is yours. Back for more smithy work? Or looking to use the forge on... They have been lingering around the Wolds. It's quiet here. Farmland. So you're Retifer's proxy. I heard that someone was helping him out of his money problems. Well, that misfortune couldn't have happened to a nicer person. He was the richest Alfar in town, until he lost his shirk in the war. But that looks to be good silver. I'll take it off your hands.
Ooh, nice. That's way more gold.
Forge is yours, whenever you need.
Greetings.
We have to conclude this business quickly. I need this money as soon as you can get it.
Why?
I never thought I'd see the day when I'd be happy to see such a paltry sum. I suppose the townsfolk are happy on my behalf. But let the past lie. I've another item for you. My kerchief. Slightly, worn, but the material is special. Of the sort alchemists employ for handling reagents. Askel Thorin might buy it. He's a stubborn one, but he's weak at haggling. See what you can get out of him. Maybe I was someone once before, when the war was just a small conflagration in Cluricon. But by the time we heard the war front was coming, it had already reached us. And like a fool, I smiled at the opportunity. Askel Thorin, the local alchemist, is interested in it. The cloth is normally used for handling sensitive reagents and potions. See what kind of price you can get out of him.
I guess as we sell these items, we'll get more of the story of him being a bit of a knob, I expect.
Welcome to Aiden.
Thank you. It might be worth looking up Aiden Circle. To find out how, which order to do them in. We'll do that. Thorin. Wonder how much he likes oak. Perhaps oaken shields. We've got things to do, but they will have to wait for Friday because it is now past stopping time. We're over 3 hours, and so oh shit, that was load, not save. I'm lucky that auto-saved. Alright, now. Save game. Jesus Christ. That was a bit hair-raising. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope to see you again. And I hope, until then, that you have a nice time. Goodbye.